Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. So today I am doing a review filled with spoilers, just to get that out of the way, of the second book in V.C. Andrews' Cutler series, and that is Secrets of the Morning. Of all 5 books, this one and the last book are tied for my favorite. I found this one to be so dramatic and so over the top that I absolutely loved it. A lot happens, and Dawn is really put through the ringer, I have to say, even more than most V.C. Andrews heroines in such an extreme way. When we ended the first book, Dawn was being sent to New York by the grandmother to go to school. So that she didn't really have a bad deal. Grandmother just said, I want to get rid of her. She's going to New York and she's going to study voice and music. I know this is not V.C. Andrews' writing. I know it's Andrew Neiderman. I picked up a lot of film references in his writing, from Gone with the Wind to others I can't recall right now, but definitely Stage Door. Stage Door was a film, I think it was in the maybe late 1930s, starring Katharine Hepburn and Ginger Rogers, about a group of young women who are pursuing an acting career in New York, and they all stay in this rooming house. And the grande dame of the rooming house was a famous dramatic actress. And, she's older and she's a little over the top, and they kind of make fun of her, but in a loving kind of way. And she's, very grande dame. There's a character just like that in this book that I'm sure Neiderman got from that movie, or it's a type, let's put it that way. It's an old-fashioned type. So her character's name is Agnes. So at the boarding house and at the school, Dawn meets a friend who's going to be her friend through the next several books, and she is one of the few stable characters in the series. For someone who is a dramatic art student, it's nice to know there is a stable character like that. And her name's Trisha. She is a dancer, and she comes from like a normal life, unlike Dawn. So Dawn is moving along with her classes. Everything's going well. Jimmy, who's now joined the army, he's come up and visit her in his uniform, and they go to a motel and kind of fool around, but they don't go all the way. She's still a teenager at this point. And then something comes along that really screws up her life big time, and that is a character named Michael Sutton. He is an older guy. I think he's like in his 30s. He's a famous opera star, like a Broadway star. And he is a teacher at the school, teaching like a class, like a visiting teacher, a guest teacher for like a year. And the next thing you know, they're having a full-blown love affair. Now, the whole time this is happening, you just know that it's a disaster waiting to happen. Like it's just going to have a horrible outcome. And Dawn is so naive. She's just totally in love with him. She's practically moved into his apartment. She's a little concerned because he seems to come home drunk at night, smelling of another woman's perfume and lipstick on his collar, but she kind of comes up with some excuse for his behavior, and he completely manipulates her into the sexual relationship. But he's got to keep it a big secret, all this stuff. So she's going along with this. She's completely in love with him. She thinks they're going to get married and have a life together. They're going to be like a singing duo on the stage. Everything's great. And even though she's extremely naive and you can see her heading for disaster, there's something very heartbreaking about this section of the book. It really was. It was very moving because you can see how this could happen to this character. How is she supposed to know that there are men like Michael Sutton out there? She has no idea. And the whole time, of course, I'm thinking, is this her real father? Is Andrew Neiderman / V.C. Andrews going to be that over the top with it? Is that going to be a big reveal? Would they really go that low? Well, it doesn't quite work out that way. That maybe was just my sick mind working, because I thought this is going to be the big reveal. Actually, it was something else. Dawn gets pregnant. She gets pregnant. She's not even thinking about birth control. And of course, the cad, Michael Sutton, isn't. Old Grandma Cutler has sent Agnes, the house mother, a letter saying, oh, you're going to watch out for Dawn. She's bad news. She lies and she's promiscuous. Well, then Dawn, through her naive love affair, proves that this is true, at least in the eyes of the adults. So she's pregnant. She thinks she's in love. There's this one really pathetic scene where Michael Sutton has all these gifts under his Christmas tree. Like they spend Christmas together, or they're going to spend Christmas together. They spend Thanksgiving together. And he's like, look at all these gifts I bought you. And then after he takes off and abandons her, they were just empty boxes wrapped up. I guess he figured, she would be a little more passionate in the bedroom if he showed her those gifts. I mean, the guy is such a snake. And he comes back later in the series, which is kind of fun. He's a character, you love to hate. So she's running through the streets of New York in the rain. Michael, I've got to get to Michael. And she gets hit by a car. She goes to the hospital. Through a thorough examination, it is revealed that she is pregnant. The grandmother's called because I guess she's still a minor. And this is when the book takes such a dark turn. And it's fantastic. Old Grandma Cutler says, okay, we're going to take care of this problem. You are going to go to Lynchburg, Virginia, where the old family plantation is called the Meadows. And you are going to stay there with my sisters, Emily and Charlotte, until this baby is born, because we're going to hide this shame on the Cutler family. So Dawn goes to the Meadows, and like I said, things turn really dark. It's an old and gothic, and this is where this story gets into a real gothic territory, and I loved it. The plantation is just an old rundown plantation. There is electricity, but it's run by this evil bitch. She's the worst. She's worse than the grandmother in Flowers in the Attic. She's probably the most hideous character in V.C. Andrews I've come across yet. Now, I haven't read all the books. And her name's Emily. She is one of Grandma Cutler's, Lillian's sister. And then Charlotte, who is this is right out of Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte, the old movie with Bette Davis. In fact, I'm sure Andrew Neiderman took that name right from that movie because it's so classic. And they're in this crumbling plantation, and it's a complete wreck. So Emily is that evangelical, plain woman who just wants to make everyone else suffer. And Charlotte is this like flighty, almost like like I said, it's like Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte, almost like little Edie from Great Gardens. It's that kind of like, she's running around very childlike. And then there's the caretaker, this guy who's pretty miserable named Luther. So Dawn comes into this horrible environment, and no one really knows that she's there. Jimmy doesn't know what happened to her. And she's first forced to be like a slave inside the household. She's, Cinderella. She's scrubbing the floors. Even though she's pregnant, she's doing all the work. And she has to live in this tiny little room with no windows, this horrible place. When the time comes for her baby to be born, the birth is horrible. It's all at home. She's no painkillers. And Emily's like, you've got to suffer for your sins. Oh, there's also the infamous laxative scene. She's giving castor oil to try to force her to have a miscarriage. It doesn't work. That baby's hanging on. The torture that poor Dawn goes through because of this prick, Michael Sutton, is just way over the top, and it really gets you worked up. This book really had me going. I could not put it down. So she gives birth to a little girl she calls Christy. And as the evil person Emily is, she steals the baby off in the middle of the night and tells Dawn that she died. Your issue is a monster, just like horrible stuff like that. It's like Carrie's mother, but 10 times worse. So just when you think it's just going to be like, how's Dawn ever going to get out of this? Jimmy shows up to the rescue. So then Grandma Cutler ends up in the hospital. She's had a stroke, and Dawn begs her to tell her where little Christy is, her baby. She's desperate, and of course, you don't get anything from her. Later in the series, the last book, which is also very good, is all about the grandmother, which is what they did with the Flowers in the Attic series, the Dollenganger series. So you do have little sympathy for her, but anyway, I'll get to that when I get to it. But yeah, she's a horrible character and mean to the end. The end of the story does have a silver lining because After Lillian dies, it is revealed that Dawn's real father was Lillian's husband, who had an affair with Laura Sue, Dawn's mother. So this was why it was a big secret. This is why Dawn was why they did the fake kidnapping, to get rid of the evidence, if you want to put it that way, of this horrible infidelity. Out of guilt, perhaps, the father left the majority of Cutler Cove to Dawn. So Clara Sue, of course, is not happy about Dawn getting Cutler Cove, the hotel, but what can she do about it? So she just becomes more and more bitter and more of a Fanny character as the series progresses. So I'm just going to end it here. I might combine the next two books because those are the ones I didn't really like so much, but who knows, I might do one for each. So if you've read the series, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have a favorite V.C. Andrews series? Some people were commenting on other series, and I would love to know what you think. I'm actually starting the next series, the Landry series, so I will be doing reviews on that too. I'm going to try to, I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to try to get through all of the V.C. Andrews series. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye!